The UK is home to loads of theme parks, some great, and others, well, let's just say they exist. But whether you're hyping up Drayton Manor or Swear Importance Park is the UK's best, two names always dominate the conversation. Alton Towers and Wicksteed Park. No, I'm joking, it's obviously Thorpe Park. And before we get into this video, I just wanted to say that you guys actually picked the two best parks in the UK, right? And whilst there was some deviation, right, this is what we got. Some of you share a very different opinion, and I just wanted to showcase that here too. Here we go. Well, today I'm going to be settling that debate once and for all. And are these two really the best two parks in the UK? Now, let's start with the main thing that matters. How much these parks actually terrify you, in terms of the thrills that they offer and the unique attractions too. Thorpe Park brands itself as the UK's thrill capital, and honestly, fair play. I couldn't disagree with that anymore. You've got Stealth, a ride that launches you from like 0 to 80 miles per hour in something crazy. I think it's like 2.5 seconds, which is absolutely absurd, right? Yeah. Especially if you eat one of those Planet Donuts before. Oh my God. You have the Swarm, the UK's first wing coaster, and it was the only wing coaster until we got Mandrill Mayhem over at Chester World of Adventures a couple of years back. And then you have Nemesis Inferno, the greater Nemesis, in my opinion. No, it's obviously not, but it's still a world-class ride nevertheless. And then there's Colossus, which holds the world record for how many times you can regret your life choices whilst on the ride. And we cannot obviously forget Soar and Hyperia. Hyperia being the tallest and the fastest coaster in the UK, which clearly adds to this whole thrill capital of the UK. And then Soar is a very well-themed gory ride, and a very, very well-themed in fact, because it genuinely feels like some sort of torture method when you're actually riding it. The amount of times that you headbang, I don't know which is worse, Soar or Colossus. I mean, I just don't ride either of them, and I'll just glaze Hyperia, and that'll be pretty much it. And that's what Crumpz thinks, right? And then on the other hand, you have Alton Towers. It's like that friend who is classy, but like secretly dangerous, if that makes any sense whatsoever. I don't really know. You've got Oblivion, the very first UK dive coaster, and still to this day, one of the only dive coasters here. The Smiler, obviously still holding the world record for 14 inversions, which is absolutely insane. And the fact that this hasn't been beaten in like the last 10 years, that does seriously and genuinely baffle me. I don't know why no parks have tried to top this, but they haven't. Then there's the Wicker Man as well, a very, very impressive wooden coaster. And I mean, it's great when it hasn't got a queue time of 120 minutes and operational. You've obviously got one of the best coasters in the whole of the UK, Octonauts there as well. And alongside that, you have 13, Rita, Galactica, oof, and Nemesis Reborn, one of the best coasters in the UK right now. And 100% one of the best themed rides in the whole of the world. If we step back a little bit though, and look away from the coasters and purely look at the other attractions that both parks offer, Thorpe Park definitely beats Alton Towers for its flat rides. And yes, they may all be aging, broken, and SB&O. Well, actually, they've finally removed the slower now, so that's a tick in the box done. But they definitely have a bigger range. However, the quality of the flat rides that Alton Towers have is much better than Thorpe Park, in my opinion. Right? Toxicator, I understand this is completely brand new for this year, right? But you have Toxicator, which is a copy and paste of Ripsaw, but it's bright green, it fits into the area really well, and it just shows you what the future of Alton Towers could be, right? And then you've got all the other flat rides, which are oh dear, actually. Either way, moving past the flat rides, let's look at dark rides. Thorpe Park, you have the Sunset Boulevard Cinema, which I don't really think counts as a dark ride. And then you have the Ghost Train. I feel like that's pretty much enough said for what I've got to prove my point here. Whereas at Alton Towers, you've got the Curse of Alton Manor, right, which is a world-class dark ride. Then you have Nemesis Subterra, which is a very unique experience and definitely tops Ghost Train's experience, right? You have Hex, and Hex is still one of my favourite rides in the whole of the UK. I mean, and that's even comparing to coasters. I don't know what it is. I just love seeing a Christmas tree light up in the middle of the room with the whole room spinning around. It's just perfect. I'm joking. Please don't sue me, Alton Towers. Alongside that, they have the best dark ride in the whole of the world, Gangster Granny. Thorpe Park is chaos condensed into a small island, which is great for getting around and really getting all the rides in during a day, right? But Alton Towers is a masterclass in engineering and atmosphere. I mean, Thorpe Park 100% wins if you want to feel like you've been hit by a bus, but Alton wins if you want to feel like you've been hit by a bus, but there's better landscaping. Now, thrills are fun. You know, dark rides are great. And flat rides are a bonus at any Merlin park in the UK. But the vibe of a park can make or break your day. This is where Alton Towers flexes hard. Set in a literal castle estate, it's like a theme park that's been dropped into Hogwarts, right? Themed areas everywhere, like Forbidden Valley, the Dark Forest, X Sector. Arguably not themed that great, right? But they're getting there, guys. They're getting there, okay? It feels very immersive wherever you walk. And you can wander around the gardens if you're into flowers as well. Or just need somewhere to cry after riding Rita and realising how painful and boring and slow it is. The park layout feels like a journey. From as soon as you enter the park, you're greeted with great music, a great atmosphere, and the sights of the castle as well. And it just sets up for a really good day, in my opinion. Anywhere you walk, the park is very, very beautiful. And it's crazy. It's really, really clean too, considering the size of the park, the pure scale of the park. It is kept super clean, and that does surprise me. There's so many rides and areas hidden in the trees, and you can't even see half of the rides until you actually get there in front of them. I mean, it is truly amazing. Thorpe Park's atmosphere is different. It's high energy, urban, you've got planes flying over your head every 5 minutes, and it doesn't try to hide any of this though. You're here for the coasters, right? Not pretty gardens. I mean, they've actually got one just behind Stealth, and that's quite nice. It's a nice little 30-second walk, but it's good. It's good. We like it. The theming can be hit or miss, right? Swarm Island looks amazing and shows you what Merlin can really do alongside Nemesis Reborn, right? With themed areas, okay? But the other areas feel like they were themed with a bloke with a pressure washer and a couple of rocks, right? And some hazard tape. It's chaotic. But that's kind of a charm in a way as well. Thorpe is definitely for the adrenaline junkies, especially with Hyperia. And Alton is for people who like adrenaline with a side of escapism. Personally, for me, Alton Towers wipes the floor with vibes and atmosphere all day, every day, compared to Thorpe Park. I think that's pretty self-explanatory. I don't even have to go over any of the points again because, well, it just is the better park. Now, this one's a very interesting one. Value for money and your experience when you're actually in the park. Theme parks are expensive. As we all know, both parks are owned by Merlin, so prices are very, very similar. Tickets usually range from £36 all the way up until £60 on a very busy day. This obviously depends on when you book. Both parks have extremely overpriced fast track systems and cost about the same as a second ticket, and both parks charge more than your mortgage for a burger. Thorpe Park is definitely at the better location, and it's a lot easier to get to and a lot more accessible for the majority of the UK. It's a quick hop from London, easy to get to by train or car, whereas Alton Towers, you've got to go down some dodgy country back lanes. There's no direct train there, and I mean, the infrastructure around Alton Towers just isn't built very well. If you don't drive, good luck. You'll need a bus, a train somehow, a second bus, and then maybe a taxi there, and you'll make it there just in 4 or 5 hours' time. Events-wise, Alton Towers has Scarefest and an insane fireworks show at the end of the year. Meanwhile, Thorpe Park has Fright Nights, and with the recent entertainment cutbacks, they are the only events that both of these parks actually have now, which seems to me crazy considering they're open for sort of 7 to 8 months as well. Scarefest is a great family attraction with everything for everybody in the family, right? You have got brand new scare mazes this year, like Edge of the Forest, a new scare zone, Dark Hollow, and these things are going to be great, and definitely going to put Alton Towers on the map for scare events this year. However, I must admit that Alton Towers has been very lackluster in the past couple of years with their Scarefest events, with only really recent improvement coming to it. Whereas I feel like Thorpe Park has 100% dominated the events tab for the last couple of years, especially when it comes to their Fright Nights event. They do some of the best scare mazes that I have ever seen in my life. This brings me back to the big event of the year, Alton Towers Fireworks. I mean, I've been for the last 3 years, and it is something that you, even if you're not into theme parks, you have to experience. And Thorpe Park just don't have anything like this. And I think that for me, Alton Towers, yet again, take the top spot for the events, purely because of the fireworks. So which park takes the crown? Honestly, this just depends on what sort of person you are. If you want pure adrenaline, a chaotic vibe, and you live near London, right, then Thorpe Park is 100% for you, right? But if you want a park that feels like a holiday with some of the UK's most iconic coasters and stunning scenery set in a beautiful estate, right, Alton Towers is going to wipe the floor every time. If you want something for the family, Alton Towers is 100% better for you, right? But personally, I lean towards Alton Towers. It's immersive. It can feel like an escape. And as I said, as soon as you walk through that main entrance, right, and you're on Tower Street, everything just feels great. You know, you just kind of forget about all of your life's problems, right? And it's just got that magic that, for me, Thorpe Park just can't replicate, right? But Thorpe will always have a place in my heart, purely for the sheer chaos factor, right? The chaos and the thrill factor at Thorpe Park are absolutely insane. Does this mean that one of these parks is the UK #1? No. I don't actually think that either of these parks take the #1 spot. And this is gonna be crazy because I made a video not too long ago, right, just up there, talking about my top parks in the UK. And this is gonna come as a surprise to some of you. But you true theme park enthusiasts will understand where I'm coming from with this one. My #1 park in the UK is Paulton's Park. Hey, but look, what's your pick? Drop a winner in the comments. Tell me why. If you disagree with anything that I've said as well, definitely drop a comment down below because, I mean, one of you definitely will, and that's a guaranteed, right? And if you want to see a video on me explaining why Paulton's Park is the best UK theme park, then definitely let me know. Leave a like on the video. If we can hit 35 likes, then I will do a video explaining why Paulton's Park is the best park in the UK. Anyways, that's Crumpets out now. See you later.
Lizard, 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 lizard. Lizard.